A New Hope, Nier Chapter 145 Fan Fiction by Azazyel. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for listening and patreon.com/Azazyel to read all of his stories. It was the slow moments as I sat looking out into the vistas of the distance that I could feel just how much I had changed in the months since I had reincarnated. I was sitting on a large rock, not any special rock at all, as even with my magnetic magic I couldn't feel any more or anything inside the large boulder. But this rock was a boulder from the Halo universe. This boulder had seen the Halo rings fire. It has seen this world form over millions of years, as this rock was a boulder that had broken apart during the expansions of the mountains YoRHa was based within here on Reach. I had gone from a simple dude to having an army of android simps, magic at my fingertips, and a literal harem in non-android ladies, with myself having literally impregnated them. I was a man with 3 kids on the way, having impregnated Weiss Schnee, Glinda Goodwitch, and Salem, with Samus herself wanting me to knock her up and do my duty as her partner. As I took in the misty mountains in the distance, I couldn't help but wonder how much further my journey would go actually. I was nominally still human even with my powerful magic and the converted phazon within my body. So I had no idea my expected lifespan, but as I looked out into the distance I realized a powerful thought. White and the rest of YoRHa are all but immortal so long as they have goals to keep their minds at task and keeping their minds from degenerating. My flesh is weak in comparison. I thought as I raised a hand to block the foggy cloud-covered sun above my head as my mind reached the final conclusion. My goal is to be able to stay with YoRHa for as long as they may live. So I need some way to expand my natural lifespan or just give me an immortal body. I muttered before I took a deep breath as I looked down at the miles-long super carrier that was being taken apart to be studied to be replicated in a more human-based design for YoRHa operations. Unbidden I couldn't help a wry smile as I thought. Give my YoRHa a decade and a couple dozen more universes to get more magic and advanced technology, and they will build up so powerful of weapons that they could make their faction within Warhammer 40k. That thought made me feel proud, as their progress wouldn't have been possible without me opening the way and using my imagination to give the direction of their super-intelligent mind in which to flail in the dark to make powerful weapons. Like bolter weapons. Normally bolter weapons are shit in reality due to their poor penetration, the ammo being expensive, and the weapons shooting them breaking down quickly. But with my directions and with Ruby's weaponized autism, we were able to make beyond potent bolters that relied on sending the bullets out of the gun via a miniature weak rail gun system. In mid-flight, the fire dust would ignite, sending the bullet flying even faster, and once the front of the bullet crumbled upon the target, the gravity dust inside the bullet would violently react, creating a split-second gravity well, twisting everything in the surroundings with the gravitation forces. I shook my head clear of the technobabble as I looked down at the Atlas scientists in the distance that White had hired to help categorize and work on the super carrier, and I smiled seeing how White and the others had so thoroughly brought Remnant together with how I had helped pull the Grim back by dicking down Salem. Thankfully the major landmasses of Remnant had their kingdoms, leaving things pretty fairly separated, so once Remnant's kingdoms followed YoRHa to these worlds like Talent, for which wasn't inhabited at all. They were stoked to learn so much arable land was available for inevitable expansion. Looking away from the super carrier I looked down into my lap as the white-haired covered head of A2 snarked at me with a teasing smile. "You done looking all wistful and sighing?" I chuckled and threaded my hand through her hair as I said with a soft smile. "Yeah, A2. It's time for us to get going." And with that A2 rolled her head out of my lap. Along with rolling off the boulder we were laying atop, with her heavy machine body hitting the ground gracefully, with her stretching her arms above her head even if she didn't need to do it at all. It was still an interesting and human thing she did almost unconsciously to fit in with humans. The sound of my boots hitting the ground rang out as I hopped to the ground, and with one final look towards the super carrier where I knew White and a majority of my favorite androids were, I waved my hand, creating a darkness portal that A2 and I walked into, with the two of us holding hands. Traveling through the darkness between worlds was the same as the other times I had done it. Swirling shades of purple and black that looked up in your face but were completely intangible assailed us at all angles, yet our feet were seemingly upon solid ground that even had odd textures as we walked into the swirling darkness in search of the next world we would run into. And after a long silent walk that took longer than the other walks, A2 and I paused as the light of another world reached us, so we made our way over there. Once we reached the word door, and I looked at its details, my lips twitched as I quickly recognized the symbols and designs upon the world door, and for a long while I considered turning to the side and trying to find a different world door, before a thought hit me. The rune system would enhance my entire body from body to soul and mind. It's probably the most complete system of growth I know of, honestly. I thought as I knew without a fact that this world door led to the world of Elden Ring. The door had all the rune shard keepers embossed onto the door with Runni, and Queen Marika being embossed onto the center of the door, and as I looked at Marika I had a devious thought. With my gap manipulation semblance, couldn't I just split her apart from Radagon to snag an easy goddess waifu? This door makes me feel like this is going to be troublesome, Jake, A2 said bluntly, and I chuckled loudly as I squeezed her hand in my own as responded happily. Well, it's a good thing I know this world and there will be some jolly cooperation to be had. After all, best bro Alexander the Pot was in here.